Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the legend, the Red Paladin himself is here. Everybody give your round of applauses, some ESFAND'S in the chat for Lord ESFAND. How's it going, man?
Yo, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
No, dude, thanks for agreeing to come on. Did you recover from EVO yet? I remember you saying you were feeling a bit down. Okay,
yeah,
sick.
I did. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had it was like a 2-day ordeal for me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think a lot of people came down with both either COVID or Ebola, so I'm glad you got like the easier the easier end of that stick.
Yeah, I think I'm immune to COVID at this point because of the I've had it so much that
man.
it hit me like I think twice, and then I had like booster and just the whole 9 yards. So yeah.
We're just like a cocktail of boosters at this point, so I'm with you. I somehow managed to dodge everything, so I'm hoping it stays that way.
Sick. Nice.
First of all, I saw you were in LA yesterday doing Madden stuff, and now you're back home. You're a busy man. Did you get any sleep?
No. No, I basically I'm like running on fumes right now. But like yeah, it's because I like to I like always kind of have to keep moving, you know?
Yeah, so. I'm the same way, man.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to talk a little bit about that because you were on staff, like on football staff for college, right?
Yeah.
So now that you've been playing fighting games, are there any like similarities between how you would approach football at like a real life sport and how you've been approaching fighting games at all?
So I think like my competitive sort of like nature makes me want to have something to grind all the time. So like I played WoW for a long time. I was always like trying to PvP and like do Gladiator and like get Gladiator every season whenever I was doing PvP and stuff like that, right? Like I always had like a grind to just constantly do. And I think the good thing about fighting games, the cool thing about like Street Fighter specifically, because that's really what I play. But you can feel like this natural feeling of development, like you're getting this natural feeling of progression as time goes on. Like, oh, I did this thing better, or like I can reliably like cancel something now that I couldn't cancel like 2 weeks ago, or you kept messing something up or anything like that. So like I can see it. It's very tangible, and that tangible progression is like really cool.
Hell yeah. And I saw you were playing on leverless, right? You're learning the hitbox, or not hitbox, but the leverless.
Yeah, controller. I mean it's the snack. This one technically is the snack box that somebody just they were like running the booth and they gave me one, which was sick. They're like, cool, okay, and because I wanted to get something like this because I was gonna get the Razer Kitsune, whenever that comes out. So having this in the meantime to kind of like learn it, and then whenever the Kitsune gets in here, I'll switch to that. But yeah,
hell yeah,
it's been good because I was always jumping like crazy. Yeah. Like I love because so I was using this controller. So here's one controller. Here's I was using this one for a while. I was using this one for a while.
Oh, nice.
No, I haven't used that one. I use this one though.
Cool.
Which is actually this is also an N64 controller, but I did use this one for a while, and this one's really good. Because I would just treat it like the 6 buttons.
Yeah.
But the problem with this was, what was the problem with this one? This one had something wrong with. This would click, so I would accidentally like heavy kick randomly.
Oh.
So if I use this, so then I started using this, and then I wanted to have an extra input, but this shared an input with another button. There was something weird. There's something wrong with the input, so I had to do something weird. And then that's whenever I switched to this, and then this was better.
Hell yeah.
So.
And now you're a leverless player. You're right there with everybody.
Yeah.
That's so like the popular. That's the popular stuff nowadays.
Yeah. And my big problem was I was always trying to like, if I ever like try to go like left and right, I would just always jump for some reason. So that's why I wanted to switch.
Yeah. And how's the switch been going? Like, have you run into any like big issues at all or not?
The first day was like really rough, but I'm at the point now where like okay, like my muscle memory because I've been playing. I say a lot. I've been playing a lot for me, given like how busy I am with everything. So it's been kind of cool to go through that progression. It's like okay, like every day I'm getting like noticeably better.
Hell yeah. And before we even get to EVO, I wanted to talk about the AT&T Cup, the Annihilator Cup that you were a part of. So was that like your first I mean, I don't think it was the first, like your first ever, but like, was that like your first like fighting game tournament that you like prepared for and worked towards?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I basically like had a few days to get ready, but I had been playing Street Fighter since it came out.
Hmm.
Uh, I always loved Street Fighter. Like I always thought Street Fighter was cool. But I mean, I played like every other kid. I was just like spamming like button mashing and stuff. I was like everybody does
Yeah,
that when they're
the
kids.
fun stuff.
Yeah. So, but then I never really like continued to like play it and like get better and grind it. Um, and that was like Street Fighter 2.
Hmm.
That was like Super Nintendo. Um, and then like right before Street Fighter 6 came out, I played on the Nintendo Switch. There was like the 30th anniversary edition or whatever. So
Yeah.
like I was like playing like Third Strike and stuff on that a little
Hmm.
bit, but that's kind of like all my Street Fighter experience right before 6 came out. So
Yeah. Yeah. So what was like your training regiment, as it were, for the AT&T Cup? Did you have anything specific that you were practicing, or were you just trying to play and figure stuff out?
um, I was just kind of trying to play, and Lakari came over for like an hour, and he just like taught me about like throw loops and uh, helped me with like some drive rush stuff and just like how to initiate
Hmm.
and like like having like a proper like initiation helped a lot. Like different ways to initiate or like getting in the corner
Yeah.
or trying to get out of the corner, which I'm still kind of bad at, but stuff like that. That was like the main stuff. Like Lakari helped me for like an hour, and it made like a world of difference.
Yeah. I mean, you got what, like third?
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
I got third.
that's
So,
awesome.
and I
So
only lost to Luke's, which I'm terrible against. I don't know. There's some champions like my brain just like
yeah.
it's the way their body like their animations move. Like I can't time anything. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
So
no, it's hard, man. It's hard, especially with somebody like Luke, right? Because he's new to Street Fighter in general. Like sometimes you just have to look at a character enough to figure it out.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask, like, how did it feel while you were going through the bracket? Like, were your nerves just like getting out of control, or like since you've played football and you were into sports, like, were you able to like keep everything super chill? Like, what was that like?
It wasn't too. As far as nerves go, um, I wasn't really like nervous or anything, but like in that last match that I played, I definitely got like really annoyed because
Hmm.
I'm so because I would screw up the motion input for like Hadoukens and like
Hmm.
that's like Sam like literally just Jake's or the not Jake. Well, it was Jake, but Luke. I want to say Luke. I thought Jake, but Jake was like sandblast spamming me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just like I can like EX Hadouken this, right? But then Jack was spamming Jake, and I had Jake in my head. But he kept sandblast spamming, so I'm like, okay, well I got EX Hadouken this, and then I got like tilted because I kept screwing up the input, and I kept doing like I would like not let go of like I wouldn't like let go of down
Mm.
before I went like hit forward, so it was like hitting like diagonal. So I would do like the down heavy instead of doing like an EX Hadouken. Like it would register
Gotcha.
as a down heavy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which is like just like I was like getting so tilted like at myself. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. Like I keep doing this. But like as far as like actually like nervousness, no, but like that was like the thing that like that was the only thing that actually tilted me, I think.
Gotcha. It happens to
Yeah.
all of us, man. We've all been there, and like just being
Yeah.
completely tilted for like shit that we just can't do at the moment.
Yeah.
So how did it feel getting third? Like, were you like, was that expected? Were you expecting to make it that far? Like,
Um, like I wasn't expecting to make it third necessarily, or like top three. I was expecting to do better than some people because I had been playing, but it was funny because a bunch of people in that tournament are FPS players, and I'm
mhm.
not an FPS player. So like we kept the first two games that we played were like all FPS games. So it's like okay, and I'm like I'm terrible at Apex, horrible at Apex. Um, I don't even remember what the second game we played was. I'm not. I just can't remember. So like I'm not good at FPS games. So I was like, okay, finally, like this is something that like I've played this a little bit, and I'm on the same playing field as a lot of other people, if not a little bit more, because some people had never played Street Fighter. Um, so like I was happy about that, and then really the only people that were ahead of me were um, like Lyric, who's played a fair amount and he's good. He was like gold. Everybody who beat me was higher elo, and
Mhm.
Jake had been playing since like last year, I think.
Mhm.
So since Street Fighter Five,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was actually good.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask your opinion on one thing. a little bit of controversy came out, and it was Emeru with how she was playing Honda. I wanted to get
Yeah.
your take, and then I want to give you like the FGC's take on like that style of play. Like, what did you think? Like, did you have anything against how she was playing?
Absolutely, I did. No, I know. It's so that was funny because like I get why people are annoyed about like the modern Honda spam, and I actually agree with it. But there was like this random loser, like he tweeted out this video of Emeru who did not place well at all. It was like Emeru and then one of the other girls, I can't remember who it was. But it was like it was very like clear, like there's like they're obviously like picking on the girls here.
Mm-hmm.
And there was other people playing modern Honda and spamming and doing well with it. So it's like you obviously had an agenda here. And then they tweeted and Damascus saw it. I think he tweeted at Damascus or Damascus saw it. And Damascus is like, yeah, like this bullshit, whatever. But what happens was it I think Damascus got baited into like the like basically the troll stuff. And because what Damascus was saying is like, yeah, like that thing, like it's totally makes sense, like it's right, like people think that's annoying and it's dumb, but the problem is it got flipped into something that it's not. On top of like, well, there's like tons of people now who like never really watched Street Fighter or cared for it, and then they watch that tournament and they're like, dude, this is actually hype. Like watching like fighting games is super hype because it's very easy to understand on the base level of like guy hits other guy, health bar goes down.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the more like advanced level where you start understanding like the like you start understanding like frames and plus minus and you start understanding all this other stuff for spacing, like it's really really cool to like watch like the meta stuff. So yeah, I think Damascus just got like baited into it because I was like, I said something about it too, and he like deleted his tweet and he was like, yeah, I like you're actually right, like I'm sorry, I actually totally like misunderstood the like what was happening here, because it was like he saw what he saw, which was what I think most people agree with.
Yeah.
But also for like a tournament like this, like people are just gonna do just gonna play like rats because like it's kind of funny. And I realized that at first because like no, I'm gonna try hard. Oh, it's Fortnite. Fortnite was the second game. I'm gonna try hard, like as far as like I'm gonna try and play the game the right way. And then I realized it's way more entertaining to be really bad and do rat stuff and see if you can get a win. So it's like it's just a different mentality of people that are actually like playing the game. So
Yeah.
that's why Emmy, who was like, of course she was gonna rat it because it was like funny. Like I did the same thing for Fortnite. I didn't do it for Apex and I played horribly, right? But I was like, okay, I'm gonna rat for Fortnite, and I also played horribly. So it really didn't make a difference for me. But yeah, so that's what it is, because it's like the Annihilator Cup is like it's like they get a bunch of people from like all different parts of the website around, so it's like that's like the whole point. It's like supposed to be like a content tournament.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. But
yeah, because normally like the FGC take for stuff like that is it's a competition. You do whatever you can to win, right? Like I was trying to specifically look for stuff where one of the tournaments that now turned into Combo Breaker used to be called UFGT, and they used to have a random Mugen tournament where like, and it was auction, like a silent auction Mugen tournament. And it was literally like you just picked a random character, and you know, like Mugen is like an open source fighting game engine where like anybody can add whatever they want. And like there is a video out there of Justin Wong figuring out an infinite and just doing the infinite and like winning, right?
Really?
So, like, yeah. So like if you like the fighting game community, it's like it's a competition. There's stuff on like there's shit on the line. You got to win, right? So,
right.
And it's up to the other person then to figure out like how to deal. So that's at least like from the fighting game player perspective, like that's how.
I like the competitive perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just thought it was funny, like seeing the two views of it.
Yeah, that's funny.
So one final question about the Annihilator Cup, and then I wanted to get into EVO. Did you playing in an Annihilator Cup influence your decision to go to EVO at all? Or
I already kind of wanted to go, but I think afterwards I really wanted to go because what made me really want to go? I'm trying to think. Like, I think as it got closer, I was kind of getting more and more FOMO, I guess, of like, oh, if I don't go, like, am I going to miss out? You know, like I've never been before. I've never seen anybody even IRL stream at EVO before. So I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I think after playing it definitely made me want to go more, but
Mhm.
I don't know what specific thing really got me into like wanting to go more. But I've been
Yeah.
talking about it, so I was like, yeah, it'd be cool to go to EVO.
Gotcha. And are you happy you went?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was amazing.
Okay,
Like we
good.
we went and yeah, like we went and uh, playing Project L was sick.
Hmm.
That was super sick because I know some of the Riot guys just from like League of Legends and stuff because I,
Yeah.
I played a bunch of League, so like I knew some of the Riot people and we got to do that and then Kenny and the Yo Video Games guys were like they were like, oh yeah, come play with us, like it'll be sick. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And those guys were awesome. So and that's one thing I noticed about like the entire like pretty much everybody was like overwhelmingly like welcoming and everybody's super nice and cool. Like it's like oh there's somebody who's like not a fighting game streamer is here. Like sick.
Yeah.
Like they know we exist. Like that's like literally people were like they would joke about it. It's like okay cool like new people are coming in because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are always scared of like it's a universal thing. I don't think it's an FGC thing. Um, Nobody wants to feel like they're playing a dead game or nobody wants to
Hmm.
feel like they're playing a dying game.
Yeah.
So that's why people always talk about game X or game Y is dying, even if it's not. It's just that's like a big fear for a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially if like you're playing something that's competitive, because if you're playing something competitive and it's like you're good at a dead game, then that's not cool, right? So like you don't want to be good at a dead game. But then if you are playing like let's say like an MMO, you don't want to play an MMO that's dead because like you want to feel like you're in a big like living world. So I think that's really just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But I think that was like super cool how welcoming and um, like nice and friendly everybody was. So
Yeah, no, and Die by Sword in the chat said what I was going to say is that the FGC is basically everybody playing dead games. I don't know if you got to walk by the community tournaments, but like there were people playing like Street Fighter 2 Super Turbo, like
yeah, I
because they
saw
brought
that.
like the arcade boards.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was
oh, that was
what else?
sick.
There was like a Third Strike tournament. Like they had a bunch of stuff like Guilty Gear,
Yeah,
X, and Core Plus R from like the early 2000s. Like,
yeah.
so I wanted to ask, since you were talking about like looking from the outside in, did you have any like preconceived notions at all? And this is a question from Bob Ace from our Discord. Did you have any like preconceived notions about the FGC or about EVO before you came?
Um, hmm. I mean, I expected it to be hype.
Hmm.
I did expect it to be hype because I thought that would be cool. Like I thought like actually watching like the finals and stuff would probably be sick. Um, I really didn't have any like specific expectation of anything going on because I was like, is this thing even like? Is there an expo hall? Is it just a tournament? Like, wow. And they're like, yeah, there's like an expo hall, but apparently that's something new that happened recently in the last few years after like RTS kind of took over
Yeah.
handling Evo, which by the way is they've done such a damn good job. Like I legitimately thought going to Evo was probably like the best convention that I've been to in like 2 or 3 years.
Oh,
Like it's
wow.
like a gaming convention
Hmm.
because like it used to be a few years ago you go to PAX and then this developer is here with their new game that's not out yet. This developer is here demoing something. Oh, this game just came out a little while ago, but they have like a booth over here and people can come play it. And it used to be that was just how gaming conventions were. Like you would have vendors on one side, you'd have booths and big displays set up with like different game devs are there for you to play their games, and it hasn't been like that recently,
Mm.
probably because of COVID and all that. But um, PAX was like that. PAX was a really good example. Somebody that did that really well. It felt like an old like 2018 PAX at Evo because you had Project L, which literally nobody had seen yet, like as far as being able to actually play it
Hmm.
publicly. So now if you went to Evo, you could get in line and play Project L. They got sick. They had MK1. They had Tekken 8. They have all these games there. Now it's smaller, I guess, because it's like specific to fighting games, but like for the target audience of what it was like super cool. Like I mean, I really hope like more game conventions can get back to that and getting more like game developers and stuff out to the conventions and all that. So I just think they owned with that because they made it into, you go 2 days for the convention and then you go the last day for the finals.
Hmm.
So I loved it. That was great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question is how it compares because I know you're somebody who travels a lot. I think I saw
Mm-hmm.
you at what, like Anime Expo, you were at TwitchCon. So that's really cool to hear that like that measures up in that way.
Yeah.
That's oddly surprising, I think, just because like I think I remember like the first year that they did EVO at that convention center, because it used to be at the Westin, like all the way at the other end of the strip, and then like the finals was on Sunday at the Mandalay Bay, so everybody had to like migrate over.
Yeah.
So seeing it being compared to like a really good convention is awesome, especially because like, did you compete at all, or were you there?
No, I mean, I was just there to hang out, and I think next year I probably will because it'll be funny. I mean, I just think it'd be funny if like I won one, because like, yeah. So that would be the goal. The goal would be to win, to not go like. No, the goal would be to actually win like a set or whatever. Like not go like 0-2, but like I would actually. The goal would be to try and win one set.
Yeah, dude, that's the whole FGC struggle. Like to not go 0-2.
Yeah,
because like a quarter of the think about it this way: a quarter of the tournament goes 0-2.
Yeah,
like 1/4 of the tournament goes 0-2. That's scary.
Well, and also, dude, imagine, hey, you're in pools, right? And it's like, okay, who are you going up against? Okay, you got Daigo. Congrats. Yeah. Like it could. I mean, imagine the guy going up against Justin Wong. For the first match. It's like, okay, well, that's a wrap, right? Yep. So
yeah, like Ulsan, who was like I think 4th in Tekken, was in my pool for Tekken. So I was like, well, I guess that's that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is how it goes.
I think that's kind of the allure of the FGC, right? Because as far as other esports go, like, is there any other esport that you can think of where you can go sign up for a tournament and then all of a sudden you're playing alongside, like the top players?
No, I don't think so. That I think is what makes EVO so hype. Is you can have any like random unknown like show up and be like, wait, who's this guy? Now it doesn't typically happen because like the guys who are like there's so many people that are so good, but the fact that it can happen and it's not completely unrealistic. I mean, like I just from like talking like hearing stuff because I haven't been around a long time, but hearing about like some of these guys like, oh yeah, this guy, he started playing a few years ago and now he's like one of the best. Or like this guy, I'm trying to think, was it Punk who kind of came up in like Street Fighter 5? Is that right?
Yeah, he won like an online tournament to go to a Red Bull event that was a Capcom qualifier, and he like was very close to qualifying, and he came kind of out of nowhere.
And then that's how people got to know him, and then now he's like one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, no, and it was the same thing at Tekken with a player named Genghis Don, who's from the USA. If I'm remembering correctly, like EVO was his first tournament.
Oh yeah, you're right. He was from he's from Atlanta, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was right in front of those guys. He had a crew just like ATL. It was so funny. It was so good. They're great.
Yeah, dude. Atlanta's a big scene for Tekken. Like they know how to do it down there.
Yeah. I've heard, is it just Tekken or is it like all fighting games in Atlanta? Because I think I heard DreamHack Atlanta is like a huge like fighting game.
Oh yeah.
Like LAN, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know as far as the Atlanta scene, I'm sure like they have a fighting scene for everything, right? Like every local scene has like somebody playing something. But I do know that the Tekken scene is like the Atlanta Tekken scene is well known, right? Because Genghis Don is from there. Anakin, who's been like a top player in Tekken for years and years and years, is from there. Poke Chop, I think, is from over there, and like he's like the most energetic man I've ever like met in my life.
Yeah,
he's awesome. You know who Poke Chop is?
I don't.
Okay, damn, I wish I would have pulled up. So there's maybe I'll pull up a video later if we have time. But he, like, if you ever watch like one of those like fighting game hype compilations, like he's the kind of guy who like pops off at people, but like not disrespectfully.
Yeah,
and there's a set between him and Riola.
Go on. Sorry.
No, there's a set between him and Riola at like before Tekken 7 came out. Like Tekken brought. Also thank you for the shout out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Tekken brought out a copy of Tekken 7 before Tekken 7 was released to Final Round, which is a tournament that happened in Atlanta, and two people who kind of had beef, but not really. Like it was like a fun video game rivalry. Was Riola and Poke Chop, and like they just started playing, and like the entire time they were just popping off at each other, and it was like the funniest thing. And it just kept getting fun because like Eris, avoiding the puddle, who's like has like transcended the FGC at this point, was commentating, and he was just like making it even funnier. So like,
Yeah.
I'll have to pull
Yeah,
up
Eris
that
is
video
great.
later.
I don't think I've ever actually interacted with him directly, but Eris is great. He's super funny.
Yeah, dude,
I can imagine him making that situation so much like worse for the better. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
making it like he's fueling the fire.
Dude, I got to meet him at an EVO. And I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, my personal account is BlueFire132. I hang out in your chat." And he goes, "Are you the fucking idiot that I banned yesterday?" I was like, "No." Like he confused my name with somebody else. And ever since then, like every time we saw each other at tournaments, we were like, we say what's up and we catch up a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're the guy I didn't ban."
Yeah. So coming in as a spectator, like on Saturday, like when we weren't necessarily at the arena finals, like were you able to enjoy the tournament like from a spectating point of view? Like what aside from the convention side of things, like did you like what did you do?
So I came in about 20 minutes. I was a little bit late, but I came in about 20 minutes into maybe a little bit longer actually. I came in a little bit late into Marvel vs. Capcom. And then I'm like, what the hell? Zero's overpowered for like 2 hours straight. And then, no, but for me, because I was streaming and I'm like, okay, is this something I can stream? Like, is this like going to be good to stream? Because people like they watch it and they react to it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like going to be, if I have a camera here, I'm like, hey, they're going to be good. And so, and it actually was. People loved it.
Yeah.
Because they got like that sitting in the stands experience, and for me, I mean, they actually gave me a media pass. They hooked me up with a media pass,
sick.
so I got to sit like, I mean, I sat on the ground almost the whole time, so I was like sore. Like
yeah, I think that's when I came and said hi. Like you were just sitting.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was yeah. I think it was early on, but it was early on in the day, right? Or was it maybe whenever I went?
I think it was like right after Marvel.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sitting on the ground and I'm like, okay, like I'll just sit over here because I don't want to like get in front of anybody or whatever. And like, obviously, like so I would just like get the shots, and then I would like talk in between, and I would just like film the screen. So I want to figure out I want to figure out a way to do it better next year, but I don't know if I need to do it better because people just love that so much. And I made some YouTube videos on the stuff at EVO, and the editors did a great job like putting those together and. People love those videos too. So I don't know, maybe I'll just do the exact same thing next time I go. But I really, really enjoyed it. And I mean, it got to the point where I was like, all the other like videographers and photographers were like getting up and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to act like a video guy. I'm like, I would just walk in front. I would go like randomly ask people questions, like interview them.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is something you brought up. Like, I think very few people like have done like an actual like IRL stream. Like we have a couple of people who do it. Like I think Stupendous is one of them, and you can always see them like carrying like a big like Osmo grip. But I think you were like the first person who like was there to stream, right? Like everybody else is there to play the tournament, and then they stream on the side.
And then they also stream, yeah.
Yeah. So seeing that and like I watched the YouTube chat, like whoever's your editor is like hilarious, right? Like the first shot, like the first video I saw was like you standing there and people were like, oh, we're looking for someone famous. That shit was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like seeing like people be properly introduced to what the FGC is, like because I feel like the FGC kind of gets a bad rap on Twitter, and rightfully so, because it's just a bunch of people arguing all the time.
Yeah.
But then seeing like the actual
every game though.
Yeah. But then like seeing like the I think I saw like I was just super curious, and I wound up seeing like your VOD of you hanging out in the arena, and like seeing people in the chat get excited about what's happening on screen along with the people in the arena was like awesome, right? Because that used to be something that like we just saw like whether you were at home or at the venue, but like never quite both. So that was pretty sick. Now, was there any other, aside from Street Fighter 6, was there any other game that like really piqued your interest at EVO?
I really liked watching Tekken, actually.
Yeah,
I did like watching Tekken. So I'll probably get into Tekken whenever Tekken 8 comes out. Mortal Kombat was cool, but I didn't get to actually watch much of it. But I got to play a little bit of MK1, and Mortal Kombat's another one of those games where it's like, you play it occasionally growing up or whatever, but like I had no idea what I'm doing. But Mortal Kombat is another one that I always thought was cool. I'm trying to think what other games did I think was like, oh, that looks cool. I learned about games. Like I didn't really even know about Guilty Gear. Like I'd
Yeah.
heard the words Guilty Gear together
Mhm.
before, but I didn't really know what it was. And so seeing Guilty Gear, I saw a little bit of it because I think actually I did 2 streams. I left and I had to recharge batteries and went live again.
Mhm.
So I didn't get to watch much of it, but I basically learned about that and that looked kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I would say the big ones were Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and um, Street Fighter, obviously.
Mhm.
You know what else I always really, really liked was Killer Instinct. I was
Oh
at Killer
yeah.
Instinct was sick, but I feel like is the Killer Instinct not as popular? I guess right now.
Yeah, it's difficult because since it was an Xbox One exclusive, not a lot of people got to
Yeah,
play it when it first came out. But now that it's out on PC, people started playing it. And I don't know if you saw, but they announced that they're actually doing another patch for it for the 10-year
yeah, I saw
anniversary.
that.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
so I
is
was like, wait,
sick.
what?
Yeah, that was so crazy because they initially just had an exhibition, right? Like they just got a bunch of top players. Like Killer Instinct is one of those, like it's one of those like niche within a niche type of games where like you can always find a crew playing it, but it's never gonna be like as far as right now, like it's never gonna be as big as like a Street Fighter. In the future,
Yeah,
you know, anything's possible.
yeah,
But yeah, like Killer Instinct has always been super duper hype, so I'm super happy to see that game back, and I'm happy that you like it too, because like it's cool to see like people from the outside in looking at it and like being able to like relate, not necessarily relate to it, but like enjoy it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Marvel vs. Capcom was one that like I wanted to be like, oh, this is sick, but then what was it? Zero, Virgil,
yeah,
and
Zero
Dante.
May Cry.
Zero May Cry, is that what it's called? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I'm like, bro, they gotta put out a patch for this game. Like,
yeah.
it's just ridiculous. But
uh,
yeah, but yeah,
yeah.
I mean that's the one because like I mean I think the idea of actually I had a friend who had Marvel vs. Capcom too, and I actually think as far as the like animations go, like the sprites and stuff go, I swear Marvel vs. Capcom 2 might have some of the best actual like character like sprites out of like any game ever.
Mhm.
They're so good, and just like looking at them is like that's sick. So I
Yeah.
even bought a bunch of them.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm somewhere. Yeah, yeah. There's like, can you see the Juggernaut right there? That's a big
Yeah.
guy.
Sick.
So yeah,
Well, the big deal with Marvel is like this was kind of like the Marvel revival, as it were, because Marvel was a game that was waning, especially after Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite didn't do so hot. Uh, like there was again, it was like another one of those like niche within a niche scenes of Marvel 3, where like a couple of people were still playing it, but then once the pandemic hit, like it kind of died, right? Because nobody was able to play offline, and the online on it was ass.
yeah.
But they figured out through Parsec, like it was Tong who was one of the commentators at the finals, and a guy by the name of Kevin Ha in California. They found out that they could hook up a Parsec machine through Amazon Web Services, and you
Okay.
basically had like 1 frame of delay connecting to it. So it was basically like almost like playing offline. And once they figured that out, the scene blew up during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah. So having it back at EVO was a huge deal, and it was like the first time like a big tournament had seen, or like a big like Marvel tournament had happened. And I think that was the biggest Marvel tournament ever, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah. I
So
mean, there was a lot of people there. Even at 10, I walked in. It was I swear it was like 10:30 a.m.
mhm.
And I'm like looking around. I'm like, dude, this place is almost like packed, like almost completely full already. And the main shows it ends at like I think it ended at like 10,
Yeah.
like midnight. I don't know. It ended late. So yeah, I mean that was crazy. People were just hanging out there all day.
Yeah. No, and I think the crazier thing is because I love watching Marvel, but I'm not like a Marvel player, right? I think that game like just goes over my head. It's too complicated for me.
Uh-huh.
But like being in a crowd of people just waiting for people to drop the infinite, right? Like that's usually what
Yeah,
Marvel vs. Capcom is. And whenever it happens, it's like the hypest shit ever, because then like anything can happen, right? So
right.
like as soon as that happened, like I was sitting with I was sitting by myself, but like once it like everybody in the arena started getting into it, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I enjoyed watching Marvel. And then Zero May Cry happened at the end, and you know,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah, yeah.
So like you kind of like you were saying before, where a lot of developers used to go to conventions to reveal stuff. EVO is kind of like the fighting game community's version of E3, right?
Right.
Especially Sunday finals, because they have those big reveals. It
Yeah.
used to be like that. That was where they would reveal stuff. But now that Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 and Mortal Kombat, well, Mortal Kombat 1's always been kind of on the outside because it's been more popular. Like that's where they would reveal like their big reveal for the year. That's since changed because now they have their own tours, so they save up stuff for the year. But they still had some crazy reveals at EVO this year. What did you think about the reveals and watching them in an arena with like 10,000 people?
The energy is just sick. Yeah, the energy is just sick. I'm trying to think of like what. Probably the Mortal Kombat one was really good. Mortal Kombat one was really good, where it showed like Reptile and all that. You know what else is funny? Oh man, I'm gonna get. Is it Harada for Tekken?
Oh yeah.
Is that his name? Okay, dude. Like some people are just like funny. He's funny.
Oh,
like
he's
he just has like
hilarious.
he was hamming it up, and he's got the stage presence, and it's like, dude, this guy, he looks like a Tekken character. Like it's like completely dark, and he's wearing sunglasses, and it's like, like I don't know, he just looks like he's got like, he probably has his closet, and it's like costume like 3, costume 4, like he just has these different outfits. So and I'm like, yeah, he just made a character, like he just made himself like a game of like people that would dress like him.
Yeah, dude, he is like one of the fighting game community's memes, right? Like he walks around with a shirt saying "Don't ask me for shit," and like he always hams it up. Like I remember a while back, there was a leak for Street Fighter 5, and this was when Ono was still working in Street Fighter 5. And Harada just laid into Ono. It's like, "Ha, you got a leak, fuck you." And then like the day before the finals of the Tekken World Tour, their stuff leaked.
No.
So Harada just came out and was like, "Everybody shut up, sit the hell down," or sit down the hell, I think is what he said.
Nice.
Dude, it's so funny. And like he like you said, like he's so good at hemming it up. And seeing Ono there trolling, like that was the other person that like showed up trying to hint at Tekken Cross Street Fighter. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, when hilarious. He said Tekken X and he walked.
Yeah.
He's like Tekken X. Is it Tekken? I don't remember if it was Tekken X or Tekken Cross.
Yeah, Tekken Cross. Yeah,
he said Tekken Cross. That's what it was. He said Tekken Cross, and I'm like, Tekken Cross, and I didn't get it because I've seen like Street Fighter X Tekken. Or, like in my head, I always read it as X Tekken, not Cross. So like I didn't get it at first, and I looked at chat and I was like, oh, that's what he was doing. That's funny.
Yeah, because like supposedly like that is something that is still going to happen. They say, but you know who knows at this point. But it was so funny that he like just showed up just to do that. I think like legit. I think the loudest I've ever heard of an FGC room was when they revealed Johnny for Guilty Gear. I don't know if you were recharging your camera or not, but like it was the big Guilty Gear reveal right before the finals.
Oh yeah, I didn't make him. I wasn't there. Yeah,
dude, like that's a character that people have been asking for a hot minute. And
really,
like they showed like it was big build up. Like they showed like season, like they're having a new season for it, so they're gonna do like balance patches and all this stuff. And all of a sudden they just showed the card, right? Because Johnny's a gambling character, so they just showed like a jack of spades, I think, or like a jack of clubs, and people just lost their fucking minds.
Yeah,
it was sick. It was like the first time.
Great whenever I love whenever stuff like that happens, where it's like something that it's kind of like, you know what this is, and then everybody like freaks out. Like that's always like, damn, that was hype.
Yeah. It's so good. Sorry. Did you have like a favorite crowd reaction throughout the Sunday finals at all, or even on Saturday?
Man, I'm trying to remember. Maybe whenever Mena reset the bracket at the end, it was nuts. That was wild. Man, was that the loudest it got?
I think so.
That was insane. Oh yeah, there was also like the guys cheering for Genghis Khan was actually funny
Oh
too,
yeah.
as far as crowd reaction, because it was like a whole like crew. I'm assuming they were all from Atlanta, and
Hmm.
them just cheering ATL the whole time was great. So that was a good one too, but that was like a smaller one, but it was like an instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to say probably resetting the bracket. Man, resetting the
Hell yeah.
bracket was like insane.
Hell yeah. And then in sorry, I just dropped some shit. Um, in general, like, did you feel like any difference between hanging out with the fighting game community as opposed to like maybe some other communities or like attending other esports or cons? Like, what's your general like takeaway?
Mm, like comparing it to other cons and stuff.
Yeah, or like that's the community. I think. Like, did you make any
Oh,
friends
community.
or like
Yeah. I mean, I had a great time. I mean, I think the big thing is, um, the big thing with the FGC in general was like I think I mentioned this earlier, but just everybody was so like welcoming and nice, and they were just like excited to have people around, and they were like, oh yeah, like come like check this out, or like everybody's willing to like, hey, if you need tips or you want to like learn more about this game or learn more about that game, and inviting me to stuff, and it was just cool. So I had a great time, and I would say just in general, people are just super welcoming, and I don't think there was any like um I didn't have any weird interactions. I don't
mhm.
think with anybody. So no, it was a good time.
Hell yeah. Are you gonna come back next year for Evo?
Oh, 100%.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. We are a little bit over time. Do you have like another 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes, or do you need to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, I got time.
Yeah. So here's the situation, Esfin. Now that you're officially a part of the FGC, we need to like get your initiation done.
Okay.
So I need you to. I'm gonna show you a couple of FGC memes, so that
Okay.
you're more knowledgeable about the FGC, and I want also like to get your reaction because they're pretty interesting.
Okay.
So let me pull this up here. First, this one is one that you saw, and I was wondering what you thought of it. So here it is. This was the video that I have is a little bit more dated than what you saw, but here is. There we go. The Ricky.
Oh yes.
This is from 2015, by the way. This video.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I remember that at the end because I remember I was like, okay, I guess it's over, and chat was like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta
do
get
not
set
end the
free.
stream yet. you wait until the end of the thing. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I didn't get it,
Mhm.
but I was like, okay, like I got why. It's like, okay, yeah, this is just like a thing, but I don't know what it's from or anything. I'm like, it's just funny.
Yeah. So like the first person who started streaming FGC events is Team Spooky, right?
Okay.
And for whatever reason, like this was even before me in the FGC, like he always played it at the end of every stream, and he would turn off subscriber only mode because on Sundays it was subscriber only mode. So because that's how he generated his money was just through subscribers.
Yeah.
So, and then he would play this, and then as soon as the wall broke, he would turn off subscriber mode, and everybody would be like, "I'm free." So it just turned into like a whole tradition where he would do that after every
That's
stream.
so good.
And he's one of the people that was working in the back at EVO. So, and for everybody in chat and yourself as well, there's even a documentary about him. It's called "Spooky Stay Free." He's like I think he's like one of the reasons why the FGC is where it is because he started like the grind of like streaming everything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, so here's another FGC meme, and this happened. This is Justin Wong. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but this is something that like everybody still like quotes to this day, and this was when Mortal Kombat X got released.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this one.
He just go easy on me.
Welcome to
I'm new to the game.
Welcome to the real world. Welcome to the real world.
Okay, that's a cheat move. That's a cheat move.
Welcome to the real world. Time to learn. You gonna learn today.
Right there.
It's so good.
You gonna learn
It's so
today
good.
is like a quote that like I think will live on forever. It's just so good.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, no, I saw that one maybe like a week before EVO or something. I don't remember. I saw it like not long before EVO, and somebody in my chat, like somebody linked it. I was like, "Oh, you got to watch this video." We were just watching random videos, and somebody in my chat starts freaking out. He's like, "I was there. I watched that stream. I helped him set up his capture card. His capture card wasn't working, and that was like the first game after his capture card got fixed." So no, I think that's great. It's so good.
I'm trying to remember. Like, there was a whole saga that happened afterwards too, where like he invited him to a party, and then like they tried playing again. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's really funny. So here's another meme. This is from the first ever Capcom Cup.
Okay.
They hired a DJ who has since been known as DJ iPad. Right. So
Okay.
if you ever hear anybody talking about DJ iPad, this is who they're talking about, and this is why they're talking about him.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is like an interstitial between matches.
Did he smack his head on his
Smacked his
iPad?
head on his iPad. Ever since then, DJ iPad has been a thing.
DJ iPad. Nice.
Yeah. Also, all of these most of these videos are from a channel called Base Monster, and Base Monster is like such a treasure trove for FGC history. So if you're ever on YouTube looking for stuff, Base Monster, like this dude compiled like all of the meme-worthy stuff that's happened throughout the years, and
Nice.
posted them. All right, there is somebody in the FGC who's a top player who goes by Shine.
Okay.
And the meme around Shine is that he breaks everything. And this is why this is a two-parter. So it started with this. This is it in New York in an arcade called Next Level, for a weekly called Next Level Battle Circuit. Grand Finals, he was winning and then he just choked so bad, and then this happened.
Oh.
Using his name, I'd be upset. Do you have Sean's number?
Shine
I
is
need to
playing
call him.
Goken on the left there.
I need to call Sean right now.
You gotta hold that. You gotta hold. I'm not gonna even.
I need to.
I can't believe.
Somebody
I can't-
call
I
Sean right
can't-
now.
I
Call
can't-
Sean because I don't know who this is.
I can't believe what Shine just. He broke.
Oh no.
He broke the headphones.
He broke the
Mad
headphones.
Cats.
He
Mad
had a stand
Cats.
for a moment. He
Get
had a
out
stand
here.
for a moment.
Mad Cats.
He had a stand for a moment.
So that happened.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple of years,
Okay.
and now he has this reputation for breaking stuff. And then this happens. This is at NEC. I think this was 2015 or 2016, a couple of years after.
Okay.
With the hop roundhouse? Yeah. She hop over,
There he is.
Whatever you call that, hop roundhouse.
Flexing the $3 shaper. Yo, you know it is sharp as a machete though.
Sharp as a machete.
Look like a perfect picket fence
Yo,
on
Chong,
his head.
since Chong.
Oh,
Bomboclad! Call it a shine. Yo, shine moment. Yo, shine. Yo, beef will get a clip of that. Yo,
no.
shine.
Yo, that is a first.
Yo, shine. Yo,
Oh
shine.
no.
That was
So what happened? Did he just sat down and bumped it or something and it fell apart?
According to him, he didn't even touch the table. So I think like
really?
whoever set the table up maybe like didn't like put the like little washer thing in place.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he sat down and the table just caved right. In
Yeah,
front of him.
just like the vibration of just like somebody moving by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That one's a good one. Next, I got just a couple more. Next is I need to introduce you to the Ghost of Marvel. So, the Ghost of Marvel this was 2016, and this specific interaction happened, and afterwards, Marvel Infinite came out, and it performed extremely poorly. So people say that because the Ghost of Marvel didn't get his way, Marvel Infinite died.
Okay.
So here is the Ghost of Marvel. Also, before we start, I just gotta put the disclaimer out there. Don't do what this guy did. Invading stages is very bad. Don't do it. but this created this scene. Still, don't do it though. So Chris G, who's the person with
But
the
no,
long
this
hair,
is the
just
story-
won,
this
and
is
this
the
guy
story
went
right
up on
here for
stage
Chris G.
and
Wait.
tried to challenge him to a match.
Does he know who he is?
Nope.
Chris G. Random.
He pulls out the controller.
But yes, let's take
Dude.
one
So then
final look
security
at our top
promptly
eight here.
escorted him.
Dude, the way he
Amazing
pulls the
job
controller
all
up into
around.
frame is so, 2 controllers even into frame is so funny.
But funny enough, is that's not the only
Oh, okay,
Easter
okay.
egg in
The
this
ceremony.
video, is because back here, who's that? It's me.
Oh, nice.
It's me. I'm that pixel, and the pixel to my right is Olsen, my my editor. So this was back in
Oh,
2016.
nice. Nice.
Whoops, sorry. Where do we go? Oh boy, I just ruined
But
everything.
no, this
Sorry.
is the story. This
Sorry,
is
just
the
a
story
little
right
scuff.
here.
So yeah, seeing that, like, hilariously enough, like I had no idea that he was in camera, but like I just saw somebody like getting like both people just like picked him up by his arms and were like escorting him off the stage. So like seeing that live was wild.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let me see.
It's
Okay,
always cool, like the idea of thinking about like there's like some like crazy like meme iconic moment something happened and it's like, oh, I was there.
Yeah.
Like, either, like it's like one thing to be like watching it, like I say, oh, I saw that live, I was watching it live, but then like actually like being there is like a whole nother level. Like that's just crazy.
And then I got 2 final videos here, and this is another personality here. So the 2 commentators at for the Tekken finals are Tasty Steve and Rip. And now Tasty Steve has a what's it called? Like a reputation for getting way too excited and hurting other people. So also I got this video from Say Jam. He was one of the commentators for Street Fighter 6.
Right.
So he has a full like analysis on this. It's hilarious if you want to watch it. I just wanted to show you like the first bit of it. So here's Tasty Steve and Rip after they announced something at a Tekken World Tour final a couple years ago.
It's already not even in focus from the very beginning.
What are you doing?
It's all.
So
Dude.
that's Tasty Steve.
Yeah, I met him at EVO. He's great.
Dude, he's hilarious. And hilariously enough, Rip, who's the other person who got thrown down, posted this after the reveal this year. And it's straight up like, from his point of view, it looks like a jump scare. So this is from this year, right after Ono came up and started saying Tekken Cross. So here's what happened.
They're gonna show Tekken Cross Street.
No, they're not.
He said we had a deal.
So just like the way Steve pans in the
Yeah,
frame is
he's
like the
cool,
funniest fucking thing.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
well,
great.
one final thing before I let you go is here on Best of 5, we like placing bets. However, our currency is not money. Our currency is pizza.
Okay.
So Gamescom is coming up next Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to bet a pizza on what we're going to see from Mortal Kombat?
Oh man, I have no idea.
I don't either, to be honest.
Gamescom. What would this say?
So all I
mean-
know is that they tweeted out that Ed Boon's going to be there to show stuff off.
Oh, really?
That's all anybody knows.
I mean, I would probably guess. I mean, surely it's like more character reveals.
Is there like a character you would bet money on or bet a pizza on to come back, you think? That we haven't seen?
Hold on, let me look at the list here of what's already been announced. Okay, so Mortal Kombat for MK1 announced character list. All confirmed characters. The Gamer.
Ooh.
Okay, this is too big. Push Square. All confirmed characters. Okay. So let's see. Ashra, Baraka, Ermac, Garrus, Havoc, Homelander, Johnny Cage, Kenshi Katana, Kung Lao, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Melina, Omni-Man, Peacemaker, Quan Chi, Raiden, Rain, Reptile, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, Smoke, Sub-Zero, Takeda, and Tanya. So, I was surprised Jax wasn't on here before. So maybe they would announce Jax, but I feel like they would have announced Jax already.
Yeah, so
They
they
didn't,
have,
because he's a cameo.
yeah, he's a cameo fighter. So the whole thing is like some cameo fighters are not going to be playable characters. So I'm wondering if he's one of those.
Yeah, like Sub-Zero is on both. Yeah, I would say. Maybe they would.
I should have thought about this before asking because I have no idea either.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a full guess.
Maybe I would guess. I mean, if Ed Boon's gonna be there, isn't like Noob Saibot supposed to be like an anagram?
Oh yeah, yeah, because it was Ed Boon and Tobias was the other person who made Mortal Kombat, so it's just their names backwards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like I mean, but then again, like I mean, he would probably just be there anyway. Maybe if it's like a big announcement or like, because they already have the date, don't they?
Yeah, it's coming out in like 4 weeks, the 19th of September.
They have the date, and then I think the open beta is in a couple days, right?
It starts tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, okay. So yeah, you have the beta tomorrow, and then you have the release in like a month, and then. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Noob Saibot.
Noob Saibot, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's who I was gonna guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, so they got Garrus back. Shit. Okay. I'm gonna guess Cabal. Cabal is the guy with the mask that runs really fast and makes people spin like a tornado.
Right. Okay.
Okay, that's gonna be my guess. Is Cabal,
okay?
Because I don't think he's been announced yet.
Okay.
So if Noob Saibot comes out, I'll be shipping you. I live in Austin too, so I'll just ship you up some home slice.
Nice.
And if Cabal comes out, then you'll be shipping me some home slice.
Okay. And what if none of them come out, or both of them come out? Then we'll call it even.
Yeah. Then we'll just like split a pizza in half or something.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. ESFAND, dude, I super appreciate your time. I super appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
If there's anything FGC related that you need, like I know there's a bunch of locals here in Austin at Arcade UFO. If you need anything, like feel free to hit me up. I got your back for any like FGC hookups. So
cool. Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Hell appreciate you being here. Are there like any final words you want to say to the people who are here?
Yeah, I mean, I just I'm excited. I'm excited about fighting games, and I mean, like I was saying this before. I've said this a few times already, but I feel like there's like a fighting game renaissance happening with like all these games coming out, and people are super into Street Fighter. And I think if one fighting game is good, it makes all the other ones good. And 100%. I think that it's gotten to the point where people have realized that, because what happens is, I mean, you have 7,000 people sign up for Street Fighter, and now everybody's like, okay, this is sick. What's the next game coming out? Okay, Project L's coming. MK1 is coming. Tekken 8 is coming. Oh wait, there's a bunch of updates for these other games I didn't even know about. Right? Like, what's Grand Blue? What's Guilty? I don't even know about these games. And then all of a sudden they start looking at that stuff too. So yeah, I think it's great. So I'm really excited for like the future of fighting games, and the whole FGC and everything's been great. So. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Honor and a pleasure having you on. Welcome to the FGC, as it were. I'm excited to see you at more tournaments.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Hit me up if you need anything. I'll be here. So you have a good one. I appreciate you being on.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, we'll see you.
All right, ladies and gents, that was Lord ESFAND, ESFAND TV on the YouTubes and on the Twitches. Check out his vlogs from EVO. They are hilarious and they're very well done. Please show him some love. That was ESFAND.